Senate Republican Leader Mitch McConnell is drawing strong pushback from his conference as he tries keep military aid Israel tied aid Ukraine. McConnell urged other Republican senators at a lunch meeting Wednesday to keep money for Israel and Ukraine in the same spending package, but faced stiff opposition from Sen. J.D. Vance and other conservatives. Mitch pleaded for everything to be kept together. No one else spoke in favor of this position. Many people say, Israel unites us, and the Ukraine issue divides us. A Republican senator who attended the lunch said, let's carry Israel's money ourselves. GOP Senator Vance and Sens. He said Eric Schmitt and Mike Lee have spoken in favor of moving an aid package for Israel separately from military aid for Ukraine. Vance distributed a policy memo to his Senate colleagues on Monday arguing that money for Israel and Ukraine should be handled separately. He prepared the draft in response to President Biden's request to Congress for a $105 billion foreign aid package. GOP senators debated the issue behind closed doors on Wednesday. I have made my public argument that for both political and political reasons we should not allow Israel to be held hostage in support of Ukraine. These are fundamentally different issues. Vance said after lunch we should discuss these separately. Decide separately. My main takeaway from lunch is that there was a lot of disagreement at the conference about moving this thing forward as a four-bucket package as presented by Biden administration, he said. I think the way the president approached this issue was basically dead when it got to Congress. Sen. Ron Johnson also pressured his GOP colleagues to separate money for Israel from aid to Ukraine, arguing that funding for Ukraine and other elements of Biden's spending request were controversial and will have a hard time in the parliament. He said, we must support Israel first. We are fooling ourselves into thinking that we can get something through the Senate that will pass through the House. Let's give Israel what Israel needs. Then let's deal with other things. He said. Johnson and other conservatives argue that a massive emergency funding package for Ukraine, containing tens billions of dollars, will have trouble passing the House, which finally elected a new speaker on Wednesday after 3 weeks complex internal wrangling. Republicans in both chambers insist new money for Ukraine should be used in conjunction with immigration policy changes that would slow the flow of migrants at the U.S Mexico border. This is a controversial issue threatens to delay action. Biden asks Congress for 61 military economic 14 military aid to Ukraine. 9 humanitarian Israel. Gaza 7.4 security for Taiwan other Indian countries. He asked him to provide assistance. Pacific allies. The divide among Senate Republicans over how to handle Biden's request signals a bumpy road ahead for Congress. Advocates of financing the war in Ukraine W.